Here's Joker.
Let's go,
Batman, everyone! Batman, before you get away, real quick, I just wanted to make a quick point. Look, I hate to look a gift horse in the mouth, and I do appreciate your principled refusal to kill me. But I think it might be time to accept the fact that your code of honor, noble though it may be, results in immeasurable death and destruction. I think you're old enough for a thought experiment. You might want to go home and look up the trolley problem. This will explain. Thank you so much again for your introduction. Batman! Batman, everyone!
Thank you, Batman!
And say hello to Harley. Isn't Harley adorable? She's actually been freaked out by the light, so I'm going to hand Harley off.
You boys want to keep walking?
All right, let's give it up for Hoboken, the town that does Halloween right. Oh man, so much fun. All the creativity and holiday spirit of Greenwich Village. Except Hoboken also has children. So the vibe here is more fun scary and less constantly on the verge of blurting out your safe word scary. Give it up. Give it up for Hoboken. I should apologize. I do not have any candy to hand out. No, I have an easy out here. I could just say, well, I'm evil. What's more evil than not giving out candy on Halloween? But that would be a dodge. The simple fact is, all of my money is tied up in decorations and wingtips. I apologize.
Looking good.
I had a pins left over, but I thought it would be tacky to just be out here handing out individual Smarties. You know? Hey kid, you want a good or a plenty? I can't afford both. Here, have an M. Although frankly, I do think any disappointment is misplaced. I mean, I do have a reputation. Frankly, I would think the mere presence of the guy who dumped barrels of Smilex into the water treatment facility would put all the candy on this block into question. Well, I will say, I have not tainted or tampered with any of the candy in any way.
No.
Not because I've suddenly grown a conscience or because I consider children to be off limits, but I couldn't think of anything worse than sugar to put in it.
That's just comedy.
Seriously, read the Hellenic survey. You can print out a PDF from the NHS website. Shocking stuff. It'll put sugar in a whole new light. You'll read that and be like, whoa, maybe Splendid doesn't make my coffee taste like it's been spiked with pine salt.
You're just doing some comedy, Leah.
Pardon me, madam, you're standing on my cue cards. Thank you so much.
So funny about it. Courtney!
But so yes, I'm evil, so I'm not handing out yet. But you know, at least I'm not so evil that I'm giving out fruit. Those people are the worst. I remember there was this urban myth when I was growing up. Our parents used to tell us, don't take apples on Halloween because people put razor blades in them. And we believed them. We actually thought there could be people out there sick and twisted and cruel enough to give out apples on Halloween. Ooh, part of this balanced breakfast, what a treat. Yeah, I definitely won't back to positively bomb your house with toilet paper later.
No.
Ooh, the worst Jolly Rancher flavor by far. Let me get the real thing. Look at it now, I hope you've got a razor blade stuck in it. At least then you can cut it into wedges, dip it in peanut butter, something. Anybody getting those little boxes of Sun-Made raisins? Those are the worst, right? Ooh, they're so sweet, they're nature's candy. Yeah, get out of here. That's sucrose. That's the good sugar. Halloween's for glucose. Raisins are only appropriate on Halloween when bundled with a Mr. Goodbar because the store was out of Chunkies. When I was growing up, I had a neighbor who was a dentist. So on Halloween, he would give out toothbrushes and those little travel-sized spools of floss. Can you imagine? I was like, wow, I didn't even tell you you were being tested on passive-aggressive sanctimoniousness. And you passed with flying colors. Made you want to get early onset gingivitis out of spite. Come back later after the trick-or-treating's over. Ding dong. Yeah, I'll floss with this Laffy Taffy. Ah, how you like that? Ah! And you might have noticed I'm not any particular iteration of the Joker. I'm more of an amalgamation. I tried to incorporate qualities of all the Jokers of our past. Got Joaquin Phoenix's backstory. I've got Heath Ledger's color palette. Which is not to say that I look like Heath Ledger. I know I don't look like Heath Ledger. Well, maybe these days, but not in his prime. And I have got the great Cesar Romero's pants and vain refusal to shave the stash. Not that. I've got Jack Nicholson's age. Honestly, I'm the exact age he was when he played me. I cannot get over that. The one moment where there are no children in front of me that Joe needed a kid to go to the next level, but that's fine. We'll just go on. Oh, what else do I have? I've got, well, I was going for kind of a poor man's Mark Hamill voice, but that's just an invitation to laryngitis. So instead I've settled on kind of a Kelsey Grammer as the helium wears off, I thought. And if it scandalizes you that I'm accusing Kelsey Grammer of huffing helium without evidence, trust me, that would be the healthiest life choice Kelsey Grammer ever made. And just to round it out, of course, I have Jared Leto's tendency to elicit the response, oh my God, this guy is exhausting. Of course, that's more of a year-round thing for both me and Jared. Eric, I suppose I can get you out of here now. You want to go for that? My Gen X chunk? Go for that? All right.
I gotta go get the Twix.
Daddy!
What's up?
I gotta go get the Twix. The Halloween candy, Twix. Never mind. Twix?
I'm not looking for a partner here, Eric.
Okay.
Let's go back to transfer. Oh, wait, let's see. G.I. Joe, did you watch that too?
A little bit.
You watched G.I. Joe growing up?
A little bit.
A little bit. Do you remember how they would always start with the cool acronym and then work backwards? Remember that? Like, you would have like a little like subterranean vehicle,
Right.
with a big drill on the front. And they'd be like, this is the mole. But it's not the mole, it's the M.O.L.E. The mobile operational lower excavator.
That was good.
It's like, just call it the mole. I mean, it's a burrowing animal. You can just, have to justify it. Probably worth noting that my hypothetical example, far more elegant than anything they would have come up with. They'd have been like, oh, this is the prairie dog.
Right.
The piston recumbent. Okay, let me just stop you there. It's the prairie dog. I'm going to drill down even deeper on this subject. Let me just get my M.O.L.E. Here's a hypothetical. Do you remember Snow Job, the G.I. Joe skier? Yeah. Ginger fellow? Yes. So imagine if Snow Job, say he wanted to commission himself like some sort of little treaded vehicle, which which would come in handy for those scenarios in which he needed to travel in any direction other than straight down, right? Like what, does he just herringbone everywhere? That just seems like such a time suck. So anyway, so say he's got himself like a little snow cat or something like that, you know. And of course, if you built yourself, you know, if you built yourself some sort of big rumbling thing that moves through the snow, and of course it's painted white for camouflage, you know, you would just name it the first thing that came to mind. But Snow Job, being a member of G.I. Joe, you know, he'd be out there like, oh, it's my primary optimized laser attendant. Like, just call it the polar bear. It's fine. And the other side did it too, you know. Like G.I. Joe would then go back to setting up an ambush on a phalanx of reticulated pythons. Those were Cobra's dreaded. Yeah, I'm not even going to spell out reticulates very long. But it just name things after what they look like. Stop putting the cart before the horse.
Cobra.
No, I'm sorry, the H.O.R.S.E. The hairy old racing stallion equine. I don't know. It was a fun show, I have to say. Didn't really illuminate the horrors of war. G.I. Joe. You know? Like I'd be watching at home and like a G.I. Joe flat gun would take out a Viper. A V.I.P.E.R. The velocity-induced plane eradicating Recondo. Recondo is the guy with the hat. But you know, one of those planes that go down in flames, you'd be like, oh yeah, owned! And then off in the distance, you'd see a parachute. You know, like, oh, he's fine, he's okay. You know, I'm sitting at home like, well, this doesn't slake my bloodlust. And not for nothing, but I mean, you can't just keep taking out infrastructure. Cobra's not Russia. They're not a bankrupt kleptocracy paping over that fact with propaganda. You know, eventually you're going to have to start getting some attrition going. I mean, Destro's resources are unlimited. He can keep Tomax and Zaymont in up-armored ATVs for as long as need be. But anyway, let's move on to Transformers. Optimus Prime. Now there is an aspirational figure for you. Optimus Prime. Just lights up a room. I mean, he can't fit into a room, but like a hangar. He lights up a hangar when he walks in. You ever meet his brother, Pessimus Prime? Man, is that guy a drag. Total Debbie Downer. Wah, 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 wah. Wah, wah. That's Pessimus Prime. That's how he's acting when he transforms.
That's good.
I didn't have to do this. This was elective on my part. Who is your favorite Transformer, Eric?
Probably Optimus Prime.
Jazz was my guy. I really dug Jazz. You know? And it shows you how far we've come when you compare the cartoon to the movies, because if you remember, 40 years ago, even then the creators knew there was something a bit iffy about a jive-talking Porsche. You know? So they took pains to mitigate the situation. They gave him a white paint job. They got the great Scatman Crothers of The Shining to voice him, give him some dignity. Fast forward 4 decades, puts him in the Michael Bay movie, just shows up as a black car, transforms, and I'm not making this up, just says, "What's up? I'ma chill," breakdances, and dies. I saw an internet comment once that said, "I can't believe they made a movie about inorganic extraterrestrials and they still killed the black guy." Good old Jazz. Yeah. Remember when we were kids and Megatron used to shrink? Remember? He would shrink down, and I believe it was a Luger P-38. Now this fascinates me because that part of the lore did not make it over into the Bay movie. they decided, no, my Megatron isn't going to shrink. That would be preposterous. Which tells me that Michael Bay apparently considers himself a purveyor of hard science fiction. Like he's hard at work. One of the writers comes to him and he's like, "Hey Michael, I got an idea. Maybe Megatron could like sneak onto the army base on the hip of an MP after transforming into a handgun." You know? And Michael Bay's just like, "A handgun? Where's the extra mask gonna go? A pocket dimension?" I'm hard at work here trying to storyboard a scene in which the Allspark brings a vending machine to life, and you're wasting my time. Get off my lot! Right? The only other Transformer that shrank, well, him and his little buddies, Soundwave. Remember Soundwave? The boom box with the Cylon voice box? Remember him? He was cool, right? Go get him, Laserbeak! You know? They never even made it into the movie, which I suppose considering it's Michael Bay, that's probably better for all involved. Because you just know, because they've been switching names around when they bring them into the live action. And look, it's a small mercy that the Transformer who speaks Ebonics was a sports car and not a ghetto blaster. That's all I'm saying. I do love the naming conventions for Transformers, though. Like, they're all named after, and, you know, millions of years ago they were given these names. They're all named things that not only apply to Earth vehicles, but specifically the user experience of Earth vehicles. Like, yo, what up? I'm Stick Shift. Why do you need a stick shift? You don't even, you know? To say nothing of the entire Bumblebee debacle. Which, to be fair, they did retcon that in his solo film. They made it so a human gave him that name. But there's still Bone Crusher. Bone Crusher from Cybertron. Now in the movies he was a tank. In the original canon he's a bulldozer. He's Devastator's leg. And just every time he introduced himself to another Transformer, they must have been like, "Wait, you crush what? What's a bone?" And he'd be like, "Oh, well, that's like an axle, but for carbon-based life." And they're like, "Oh, you believe that crackpot theory? What's next? Cybertron is flat?" Or Ratchet, the Autobots medical officer. Which, to give them some credit, was actually a Who Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest reference. I swear, it actually was. But like, how are you named Ratchet? Why? How do you know what a ratchet is? What? You don't need tools, you could just be one.
Girls, let's go.
I like when they ran out of like normal things for Transformers to turn into. They started just turning into any old thing. Like you couldn't hide as any. Okay, the Dinobots, there's an explanation because the Transformers are crash landed in prehistoric times, so that explains that. That's fine. It doesn't explain Insecticons though. Insecticons, even canonically, didn't even shrink. There, you're gonna use the tech for that, but no. So, tell me, Bombshell, what 20-ton beetles are you trying to fit in with? Like, why even transform? You're just giving up the advantages of the opposable thumb for nothing, as far as I know. Now, his name was Bombshell. He was named Bombshell because that was the ordnance he used in battle. He was not a foxy lady. Not like Arcee. Arcee the Transformeress. The Smurfette of Cybertron. And I think she's still the only one. The only girl Transformer. And she turns into a moped of all things. Excuse me, can I get like a mounted rocket launcher or something? No! You will go into battle as an unarmored pink pastel Vespa. And you'll like it.
Oh my god. You want yellow?
One girl.
No.
Nothing like G.I. Joe that had 3 times that many. Because at Hasbro, representation matters. Honestly, Hasbro, I start to think you're leaving all that tomboy money on the table. After a while, I have to start wondering if it's really a financial consideration or a political one. That's all I'm saying.